So we're going to stick with upper body today. And things that you will need is a chair or something that is just below knee height. We don't want it too high, so the easier it gets is when it's higher. Okay, or should I say, the higher it is, the easier it gets, and the lower it is, the harder it gets. But we don't want it too low because then it restricts our range of motion. You'll understand once you're there. You will need a kettlebell, so get that ready. Make sure you have a bit of space, and I think we're good to go. So make sure you got your warm-up in, because if you don't have your warm-up in, it's going to be very difficult today. But if you've got your warm-up in, we're going to go in 15 seconds. So let's go. Start the timer. Grab your kettlebell. We are going to start with goblet squats. So grab your kettlebell. Nice wide stance with the feet just over shoulder width apart. You can angle the feet slightly outwards, and we're going hips back and down. So up on the chest, hips back and down, and let's stand up from there. So as we sit down, don't let the knees come in together. Keep the knees out, and that's going to bring the glutes into it a little bit more, and that's what we're going to be looking for, is the glutes. And you're just going to take your time, and then we're going to go into a thing called a renegade row, which is where this chair is going to come in handy. Now, I'm not going with the heavy kettlebell today. My first session back after 2 weeks out with illness, so I'm going to take it a little bit easy. But you guys are going to still work. So 3, 2, and 1. Right, we still have a 10-second countdown, but what I want you to do is push that chair in right against the wall so it can't move anywhere. And you're going to walk back as if you're getting into a high plank. That arm is just going to be slightly in front of that shoulder. And from there, we're just going to row with one side of our body. So make sure the hand on the chair is comfortable. It's not going to slide away. We're keeping our abs tight. And the one thing I don't want you doing is having your feet up here underneath your hips. Or as you row, your hips start rotating too as we do it. So keep both hips pointing straight down towards the ground. I'm hoping the back of this chair actually holds the weight that I'm putting through it. And you're going to drive the elbow back into the hip, squeeze your lat here at the back, and then you're back down. And relax. So you got 10 seconds, we'll do the other side. So the main focus of this one is your abs, okay? So that's stopping us rotating. So 3, 2, 1, and let's go from there. So you will need to drive that foot of the arm that you're rowing with into the ground to stop you from rotating as well. Make sure the rowing stays the same. Something tells me that this chair is not going to hold, but we're going to go through it anyway. Otherwise, I owe this room a new chair, and I'll probably face plant in the process. So we don't want that. But keep the form, keep the abs tight. We don't want the hips too high. So 3, 2, and 1. Drop it there. Center that up onto the mat. I think it'll be fine. Right, we're back to our squats. So 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Hips back and down. Stand back up. So if you're struggling with this, simply get rid of the weight. Hips back and down. Just go with body weight. And then you may be able to up the tempo to make it a little bit more challenging. And then if you're finding that okay, well then you can bump back up to a kettlebell and slow it down. Remember, if you're finding things hard, get rid of the weight, restrict the range of motion, and take your time. Go really, really slow. And if body weight's still too tough, well, luckily we have this chair on standby, where we're just sitting down onto our chair as if we're about to sit down and watch the TV. So relax there. You got 10 seconds. I'm really struggling to catch my breath. So 3, 2, 1. Let's go with the renegade row. So get your posture. And then it's all about squeezing the abs nice and tight, almost as if someone is about to punch you in the stomach and you're bracing for that impact. So you're preparing yourself. And it's all about rowing from there. Oh, a few cracks out of this chair. It's really making me uneasy. But we've got nothing else here. So 4, 3, 2, and 1. So if you are like me and you don't know if a chair or whatever object you're using is going to hold. You hear a few creaks at it, change it up, use something else. Right, so swap sides, left side now. Because what we do to one side, we got to do to the other. So, what I was saying is if you don't have anything at home, the beauty of it, you guys can move around, and it doesn't have to be in one set room. Now, it's inconvenient to move it around from room to room, but let's say you set up in the hall, for example. If you've enough room there, you've got the steps or the stairs. And you can use a second step on that one, because your hand is out in front. 3, 2, and 1. Whew. I'm going to start sweating like mad here. All right, grab your kettlebell. We're going back into our squats. This is our third and final round before we intro a new block. So let's go. So it's all about depth here. How low can you go with the level of difficulty you're using? Whether it be body weight, whether it be with the kettlebell, whether it be with 2 kettlebells. You know, you could be taking it up a level, but you're still looking to sit right down into it. Now, we might get all the way down, but if you find that you're getting blocked and you can't sit down anymore, it might be useful just to widen the legs, big focus on pushing those knees out, and you'll be able to access a little bit more room in that hip, and rest. Oh my God. You can really feel when you're out of action for 2 weeks. Now I'm getting all these excuses in, so let's go right side. So enough of these excuses. I'm back. So just take your time. Get yourself steady. Ignore the creaks. Ignore the creaks. We got 20 seconds to go. So the main focus isn't the row on this. It's the abs. So when we row, it actually it makes us want to rotate. Our job here is to stop the rotation by using our abs. And that is how it gets so difficult. And rest. 10 seconds. Whew. I'm going to sleep well tonight. 2, 1, and let's go. Left side. So this is our last one. And then, instead of a pull, we are going to go into a push, which is going to be a hand release push-up. And we're going to take our time with those because push-ups over 40 seconds, they take it out of you. And there's not much to take out of me at the moment. I might be in this boat by myself. 12 seconds. 5, 2, and 1. Right, you're going to get your stomach on the floor. We got 2 options on this one, whether you can use your knees or you're going to go from a full body plank from here. So what we're looking to do is squeeze our abs at the bottom, push off the ground, and as we come back down, we get a split second rest at the bottom, hand release, so hands off the floor, and then we push away again. Now you can always keep your knees on the floor and go from there. So we're making it a little bit easier, but still that will be challenging over the course of that 40 seconds. And one thing I want you to note is when you get to the bottom, pause there, I want you to squeeze your abs. And what I mean by squeeze your abs is when you squeeze them, your stomach will most likely come off the floor, or you'll feel less pressure going through your stomach through the floor. And once we get that, then we can push away. Relax there. Up on your feet. It will make it a little bit harder, but we're keeping our core bracing intact. That gets us to keep our tension inside the body. All right, kettlebell in the right hand, reverse lunges. So whatever hand you have that kettlebell in, you're going to drop back down with that same knee to the floor. And we're going reverse lunges. So now, let me catch my breath. We are offset. So with the offset, that's going to try and pull us, if we have enough weight, it's going to try and pull us to one side. Your job here is to stay upright as much as you can. And if you look from the front, you cut your arms off, it looks like you're not even holding a kettlebell. 2 and 1, swap it there. So you got to keep the abs nice and tight, keep the shoulder blades back. So now we have a nice strong posture. And then from there, left side, let's go. It's all about getting the lower body working from there. And what we want to do is imagine we're lunging on train tracks. My right foot stays on the right side of the track. My left foot stays on the left side of the track. They never cross. They never come closer together. They always stay on these two parallel lines. Because if we start creeping in when they get closer together, and say I go directly behind that front foot, it's a bit of a crisscross. I'm unstable here at the bottom. Chances are I'm going to lose my balance at some stage. So 2 and 1, drop it there. Let's get set for our hand release push-up. Remember, squeeze the abs, pelvis comes up at the front. So 2, 1, drop it down, hands come off, squeeze the abs, and go from there. Yes, it's a hell of a lot harder than what we're used to from just kind of pushing off the floor and we arch your lower back. We're forcing our body to take everything up at once. So pushing that floor away just got a little bit harder. So pelvis up, big breath in, abs tight, push away. And as we push away, we can start breathing out again. And what we don't want to do is have your hands nice and high and elbows in line with your shoulders. Now we're just putting all our stress through the shoulders. We don't want that. Don't come too tight. You're looking at that 45-degree angle at the armpit. You're resting there. I meant to say relaxing, but there's a bit of a crisscross between the two. Grab your kettlebell up on your feet. We're up on your feet, then grab your kettlebell, and let's start lunging. So I'm going back to my right side. Remember, posture again. Shoulder blades back. That's your nice, strong, tall posture. Don't let that kettlebell pull you because you're squeezing your abs. And then we're just dropping our back knee right down towards the floor. Keep it controlled. Now, if you do have tiled floors, let's say, or you're on concrete, don't put your knee to the floor. Otherwise, you're going to crack it open. Okay? And relax there. Just lightly kiss it. Even leave a tiny bit of air in between the two. So 2, 1, let's go left side. So leave the extra bit of room if you do have a hard floor. If not, you can throw a little towel down. So you're hitting the same distance and the same depth each time. Now, if this is too tough, get rid of the kettlebell. And you're just going to go up body weight. Everything stays the exact same. You're still walking on the train tracks. You're still keeping that shoulder width between the feet. And if that's still too hard and you're still kind of struggling with that movement, if it's balance that you're struggling with, grab a chair. Okay? If your balance is okay, and it's when you get down to here and your knee starts getting sore, well, get something that goes from the floor up to your knee and stops you going any lower. Relax there. We got one more round to go. Set up your hand release push-ups in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So remember, big breath in, stomach is nice and tight. You're bracing for that punch. So therefore, your belly button is not touching the floor. And then you're pushing away. And you have to almost squash yourself from head to toe just to make it a little bit easier. So you have more leverage then to push. Now, this round is not going to be filled at reps, but especially not for me. Talking and working out is just not working. Not today. And relax there. Right, into your last set of reverse lunges each side. So you can up the ante by stepping up the speed of your lunges. Let's go right side. But just make sure that when you do that, or if you do that, your technique stays the exact same if we were to slow it down. So nothing changes if you increase the speed, but only increase the speed if you can handle it and that technique doesn't break down. If the technique does start breaking down, scrap it, slow it down. And then you should feel this front leg doing all the work and pushing off that front leg, pushing it through the floor. So 3, 2, and 1. Drop it there. Swap it over. Whew, this is your last 40 seconds of work. Let's get it done. And that'll be 15 minutes in and out. Great stuff. All right, so now my right leg, my front leg, is doing all the work. And the reason I have this kettlebell in my left hand is because my left foot goes back. And when that goes back, it's now created a big pocket for that kettlebell to sit in. And it just sits more naturally. And the load is now evenly spread to some extent, unless you go too heavy. So 8 seconds. Yeah, definitely breathing heavy. 2 and 1. Drop the kettlebell. Take a breather. I'm going to take a seat. But that is you guys done and dusted. It's another full body workout in the books. Get your cool down done, get your stretches done. You'll thank yourself tomorrow and the next day. And we'll see you guys again for the next one. Until then.